Hey, welcome back. It is another Playful Humans podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague. Find us at playfulhumans.com and take the Playful Personality Quiz at playfulhumans.com/quiz. You can find out how playful you are and what kind of play. There's also a burnout quiz. Find out if you're medium rare, well done, medium well. Take the burnout quiz, playfulhumans.com/quiz. Our guest this week is Rebecca Fegan. She is an education professional. We're going to talk about how you can play with music and a whole bunch more. She's a certified coach and musician. So all kinds of good fun stuff we're going to find out here shortly. Here we go. All right, welcome to the podcast, Rebecca. We like to start with the joke of the week. The joke of the week this week is brought to you by the new Amazon PJs. Jeff Bezos, every time he comes back from space, likes to put his pajamas on. Pajamas on for Amazon. Okay, the official joke of the week is, what did the duck say after it bought some chapstick? Put it on my bill. All right. I feel like you can do better, Rebecca. What do you got for us?
Oh, I've got musician jokes because everybody's been in a band of some sort or watched a band. So in case you wondered, the range of a tuba, is about 20 yards if you got a good arm.
That's pretty far for a tuba, I would imagine. What
really
else?
Good arm.
I feel like you got another good joke for us.
Okay. Well, the one that I like this week. How many times do you have to tickle an octopus before it laughs?
How many?
10 tickles.
I like that one. That one's a classic and one of my favorites to do, the nieces and nephews too. So hopefully you can steal those jokes and have some fun with those this week. Now, talking about you and your career, Rebecca, my favorite first question is, have you always been playful, or were you ever stuck in like a cubicle job or something and have like a midlife crisis?
I was in a cubicle. I was a stockbroker for Ameritrade for a while.
Wow.
And the reason that I could sit in a cubicle was because I was playful. I had fun with all of my clients, even the ones that were day trading, and you have to work so fast and everything. But I got along well with the people that I was working with, and I had the cute little animals across the top. Okay, picture Penelope from Criminal Minds with all of her stuff, and that's what my cubicle looked like.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Super fun. When did you decide or get into the education part?
I've been teaching for 56 years. So I was 14.
56. That can't be right. 14. So what'd you do at 14?
I was my parents were music teachers, and of course my brothers were musicians as well. And so I got to 14, and there was a kid who wanted to take trumpet lessons, but he couldn't take from my dad because my dad couldn't fit him into the schedule. But he said, "You could teach her." I said, "I guess I could teach him." And he ended up getting first chair in the all-state band in Missouri. And so, I got addicted. My parents have been teaching since, I was in utero. So use the F sharp. Okay, I'm going to write that down. See, but I've been listening to them teach for ages, and of course I was getting lessons from them as well. Yeah.
What instruments?
The look that they get in their eyes when I get it, and then they play, and then they're like, that sounds like a real song,
Yeah, exactly. When it changes from noise to music, it's
Right.
a wonderful moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
It's
lots of fun.
beautiful. What instruments?
All of them.
Do you have a favorite?
Whatever I'm playing at the moment.
Ah, I like that. What's the most unusual instrument you know how to play?
Oh, goodness. Crumhorn.
What is that?
It looks like a saxophone, but it's made out of wood. And it's got
Oh,
a reed like an oboe, but you don't put the reed in your mouth. It's enclosed inside of a cap that goes over. So the
hmm.
reed is like inside the cap, and you blow into the cap, and it makes that work. It's got a range of like 11 notes. Um,
Yeah.
well, an octave and a third, I believe. And compared with every other instrument, it's like this much when it comes to range and everything. But it sounds like a Renaissance kazoo.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
That'd be
Really
fun. What's the most fun you've ever had playing music?
Oh, I think when we were in competition situations, we
Hmm.
used to, the fun part was not going on the field and marching and everything like that. It was intimidating the other players before you got on the field.
I
So
like that.
we were really good at that. I got to the point where I could sing through my horn and make it sound like I was playing. So I was playing trumpet at the time, and the trumpet players have this ego thing. So they're going, oh, listen how high I can play, like
Yeah.
that. And then I would sing about 5 notes higher than that. And,
And freak them out.
and they say, well, what size mouthpiece do you have? And you say, oh, a big one. It's huge, and they look at it and they say, you could drop a pencil through that. You said, pretty much, yeah. And they got these little, and so they were cheating to hit high notes. And so then
That
when
is
they figured out I was cheating, but I was cheating differently, they said, oh, you're singing through your horn. And I said, do you know any soprano that can sing that high? And they go, no.
funny.
Ooh.
What are you doing? I like you already, Rebecca. I feel like you are a playful human and an ornery one too, which is one
Oh,
of my
yeah.
my favorite characteristics of humans.
Well, the funnest one was when the drummers would have the drum offs, and they would all try to be showing off and how fast they could play and the complicated stuff that they could do and everything. And they'd just be wailing and everything like that. And then my brother, who was an unbelievable drummer, he would copy what they had just done without any practice. And then they go, oh yeah, well, watch this, and they do some more, and then throwing sticks in the air, and okay, and then he would do the same thing. And they're going, okay, all right, try this. And they bring the best guy up there, and he just as fast as he can go and everything like that. My brother and then he repeated what that guy did, but he only used one stick.
Oh no.
So after all the trumpet stuff that we had done, we completely demoralized their drum
Pretty
set.
much game over.
Right.
Yeah.
So then they called for the bands to come onto the field for their concert, right? And they are not concert, but for their marching competition, they run onto the field and everything like that, and they give their first notes. The trumpet players, of course, blew their lips through the bottom of the horn trying to do the high notes. So they've got hamburger here, and it's like that. We come out onto the field, pow, and they're going.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Super fun times.
I'm,
Now, I have some really interesting questions for you. I'm wondering what you feel like is harder, getting an instrument to do what you want it to do, or getting a student to do what you want them to do. And how are they different?
Okay. When you are working with students, you're trying to get the student to make the instrument do what he wants it to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what I want doesn't matter. What they want, where they want to go, where they want to pull things. And that is the trick, because you don't tell them what you want them to do. You ask them How would this be better? How could you get a bigger sound than this? How could you work out this passage that it works? Well, is there another fingering that you could use? How are you bowing this? How are you blowing this? Okay. How are you strumming this? And how are you breathing? And you just 1,000 questions. And so they're watching, and then they're watching you, and then they're watching that. And I said, what's it feel like? And I think working with the student so that after they're done with a lesson, they don't have to come back to you to learn the same stuff the next week.
Yeah.
They're moving forward every lesson instead of getting stuck in one thing.
Well, now I'm excited to transition to some of the music questions, because I can already tell that you're a really great teacher and coach just by asking the questions and what you're talking about of making progress and teaching people how to practice so that they can come back to you better than you left them. Right. That's amazing. What about with music in general? So I'm one of those people that I came from a musical family. On my mom's side, my great grandmother was a piano teacher, and everybody over there are like artists and musicians, and I got a cousin in a band and all kinds of stuff. On my dad's side, exact opposite. They're all like business people, very straight-laced, driven, high performance type people. And it was great. I kind of landed in the middle, and I found other ways to play, but not the music. I was always busy with like sports and scouts and all kinds of other science things, and never had time for music or theater, which I regret. So if you had somebody that was looking to get started in music, what would you like, do you have any advice? Or I'm imagining you deal with a lot of beginners where you have to kind of pace expectations or find some sort of way past the hard part in getting started. Is that fair?
Most people, well, if you look on Facebook, there's an ad that pops up why learning music at an older age is nearly impossible. And I'm going, who are you using for a teacher? I'm sorry. At this point, I have 2 students under the age of 20, and all the rest of them are in their 40s and 50s. And my prize student is 67.
Nice.
Okay. Now, what did we do with them? I say, you've always wanted to play. Okay. What did you want to play?
Piano. Like I said, from my great grandmother and my grandmother. Yeah.
What is it about piano that attracts you?
I think it's one you can sound good by yourself, and there are pianos laying around. Like, I'm going to make some judgments here. No judgments. This is my personal opinion here. But like, if somebody brings a guitar to a party, they're doing that for them, right? But I feel like my ultimate like cool move is to like walk into a Christmas party and there happens to be a piano there and just sit down and play without anybody knowing that I can play, and just like surprise some people, right?
Right. Okay.
And bring a little something. Or like you're walking around and there's a piano in the mall or something like that. Like those are cool kind of things that I think would be awesome.
Okay. So what kind of music would you think would be the most interesting to listen to if you were playing?
Ooh, I love classics. So and classics for me,
not
classic
Chuck Berry or
yeah, I'm talking about like Elton John, Billy Joel, classic piano player people. I feel like they're not really complicated and fast. Like I don't need to do anything really crazy, but something that sounds good and that I can sing along and get other people to sing along. I love Neil Diamond and stuff like that. Yeah, popular music and sort of that classic rock to 80s range. Queen.
Right. Oh, Queen. Yeah. So one of the cool things about piano is that you can play both the melody and the harmony together. Okay. And a lot of times when you are going to a party or going to the mall, you're not carrying your music with you. You say, oh, look, a piano. I just happen to have my book.
Right, exactly.
But there are some things that you learn in a music lesson where the most important thing that you learn from all of the lessons that you take with the teacher is how to listen. So you learn how to listen to the music for patterns, for different harmonies, for different occasions, so you can do things by ear. Now, the worst thing that you run into is teachers who will say, I'm sorry, I can't teach you how to play music because you play by ear. I have never turned down somebody that plays by ear because, frankly, that got me all the way through college. Yeah.
Well, I can see benefits to both. I'd love to hear more about what you were going to say next with that. But for me, I have never learned how to read music, or I don't like even hearing a note. I can't say what note it is or anything.
Well,
but
okay.
I love music. I was a radio DJ, a club DJ, and just
I graduated with 165 other music majors, and of those, only 5 of them could identify the note if they heard it.
Yeah.
Because, see, most people think, oh, well, you can recognize a note by hearing it, and that makes you a musician. No, it doesn't. And being able to read music is not rocket science. Can you read a map?
Right.
Okay, it's the same thing. It's easier than reading a map because, there's only 10 lines altogether, instead of 50 states and construction zones and stuff like that. If you're focusing on the music, the actual printed music is just a guideline. It tells you what comes next, and so you can see it ahead of time. But you don't need to have music to play.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're talking about, oh, I don't have this skill, I don't have that skill, that's why you're taking lessons, so you can get those skills. Right.
Well, that takes me to my next set of questions here, which is, where do you start? I've seen a lot of, different things online, like you mentioned, or you're watching YouTube videos and somebody's like, oh, no, if you learn how to play some basic rhythms and melodies, you can put a lot of creativity into it and make it sound good, whether you're playing a song or not. Other people are like, pick a song you like and learn that one and then learn another one, and you'll figure out as you kind of go along. And then there's other people that are like the skills and drills people. Where would you say that you land, or is it different for everybody?
I prefer to use the reading and counting and the basics first, because once you've got that, you've doubled the amount of music that you can play, because you can play the stuff that you know, and you now can play the stuff that you don't know, because now you can read. When you are experimenting on the piano, you play something that you like, and then you tend to fall back into that. You say, oh, and there's that chord, and that's good. But when you're playing music that's written, sometimes you discover new sounds that you like. You say, oh, I want to use that one. Case in point, when I was in college, one of the things that you have to do as a music major is you have to pass a piano proficiency test, which means that the band didn't show up. We still need the Star Spangled Banner. Go play it on the piano. So I played it. They have a room full of grumpy looking music teachers going, here we go, Star Spangled Banner, number 67. Yay. Right. And then they hear everybody play the same version of the Star Spangled Banner. And I went in and I just started playing it. And they said, that's a little low. Oh, okay. All right. So I moved it up a couple of keys and then did a different arrangement of it. And they were going, well, that might be a little high. I said, well, what key do you want it in?
Right.
And they're like, can we do this? Okay, key C sharp minor. All right. And I played that in the key of C sharp minor, which is just evil, they did that on purpose. And that a completely different arrangement. And they're going, how many of these did you memorize? I said, memorize?
Yeah.
So I walk outside, and the people that are waiting to take the test were sitting in the hallway. They were gone. They were gone. They said, well, bring in the next person. I said, there isn't anybody out here. Well, we've got another 12 people that need to go to yet today. I said, well, looks like you got a really long coffee break. And some of them were in the practice rooms crying because they couldn't find an arrangement of Star Spangled Banner in more than one key.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Because I could read, and I had been exposed to a lot of jazz when, of course, my mom was an excellent jazz piano. And when they would get together, it never sounded exactly the same each time they played it. Right. Okay. So, if we expand that, how many different ways can you do a math problem? Well, most people think there's only one way, but there's lots of different ways, and you work at it whichever way seems to make the most sense. You're going to line up the numbers and then do the one side and then the 10 side, where you can start at the hundreds and moving it down, and then, or you can do. They had this grid thing that that was stupid, but it worked.
The old new math.
Yeah, I remember new math back in 5th grade before you were born. But
I was referring to the Common Core, with the grid.
Yeah,
but
well, Common Core was
was
new math. Okay, all right, whatever.
New code.
And the same thing about everything else that you learn. If everything is integrated, the stuff that you learned in math class is also used in science. The stuff that you learn in science is also used in history. Stuff that you learn in history is also used. Okay, I had a history teacher taught Renaissance history, and he traced migration patterns from all over Europe by the music that they used. So they knew that the Italians had gone to Germany because Germany started adopting some Italian music forms. And that typical mariachi stuff with a parallel third on the trumpets and everything like that you hear from Spanish and Mexicans. Okay, so those parallel third type of stuff, that's Moorish. That comes from North Africa. So that came in with a Muslim invasion of Spain. See, so okay, all right.
Yeah.
So everything is mixed together, and a lot of people tend to stovepipe music as being, this is here, and then everything else is out here. My kids would come into my classroom, and I say, "Welcome to math class," and they're going, "Oh no." And when my math students would come in, I says, "Welcome to English class." Oh no. And I said, okay, take a look at a word problem in math. So you're reading the whole paragraph, and then you're trying to figure out how many apples Mary has. Okay. That's backwards. They always ask the question that they want answered at the very end of the paragraph. Read that first. Okay, so we're looking for Mary and apples. So look at all of the things that have to do with Mary and her apples, instead of reading the whole paragraph and expecting to understand it.
Yeah.
See, so we're in math and English, right? See, so yeah, when you're studying music or any other thing, if you study it in isolation, you're missing half the point.
And since we're talking about these methods, I'm assuming there is a Fegan method, since your website is thefeganmethod.com. Can you tell us about that?
The method that I use is very simple. Everybody gathers information differently. Some gather it by sight, by sound, by putting their little fingers into the dirt, by reading. All of these different ways that you gather information. But once you've got the information, it's stored up here in your brain, and it works really great, okay, then you use the same process all the way through there. Find out, what do you know? So you study your little brain and you say, what do I already know? And then you find out what you're missing. So how do I go from this point where I am to understanding how quantum physics works? Right? And so you find out what that gap is. Then if it's a small gap, you can probably do it all at once. But if it's a bigger gap, you do it in little pieces. Just like when you were learning how to walk, you got up on the furniture, you take a step and then you run your hands
Right,
along.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And then you step away from the couch and you're going, ah, and then fall down. You do the same thing in every learning situation. You find out what the gap is, and then you go through and find out specifically what you need to work on. And you work on that one little piece until you've got that good, right? And then you integrate that with the stuff that you already know so that you can feel comfortable with it. Once you've got that done, then you say, congratulations, you know it, and you pat yourself on the back. It works for every single subject. And I know because I've taught every single subject. Everything from kindergarten to college level statistics and calculus, everything from music to football. You should have seen that football class. They were in pain. I'll tell you what. That was fun. Everything from, I taught a basketball class. And when they were finished with the basketball, seminar, I guess you'd call it, we had added 2 inches to their jump height.
Wow.
2 inches. Yeah. And the coach was saying, well, what camp did you go to? The music teacher down the street.
I love it. That's so amazing. Now, I want to play a game with you before we go. So you ready to play a game?
Hi.
Here we go. I figured music trivia would be too easy for you. So we're going to go with some movie trivia here. And I'm looking for the name of an actress who is known for being a redhead.
Oh, okay. Julia Roberts.
Yes. There you go. You got that one in the top 8 there. Lucille Ball, Amy Adams, and Nicole Kidman also coming in there. All right.
Tracy Ullman.
How about the title of a movie that made you cry?
Oh, Schindler's List.
Schindler's List is up there for sure. I just applauded Schindler's List making us cry, but I lost that one. Oh, The Notebook, Old Yeller, Terms of Endearment, and Titanic also on there. All right, you've already won, but last one. An actor or actress famous for vampire movie, for being in a vampire movie.
Oh, Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi, number 2. Kristen Stewart from the latest vampire movies. Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, of course. And then Wesley Snipes and Christopher Lee. Our vampire movies. 3 for 3. That means you win a free 30-second commercial here for the Fegan Method. Find them at thefaganmethod.com. Find Rebecca, connect with her. How can you help us, or how can we help you, Rebecca?
Those people who have been told all of their lives this is going to be too hard. It's not too hard. Come here. We'll get it done.
I love that.
No limits.
Any instrument, whatever we want to do, or even we just need some coaching?
Okay. I don't care what you want to learn. It doesn't. I have a few music students, yes, but I have, like I said, taught everything. So if you want to learn a new subject, learn a new language, improve the stuff that you've already got, take off the blinders and move in a different direction or a better direction in, for instance, your business, your family life, your physical life. It doesn't matter. That's what coaches do. And they don't give you the answers. They help you discover them. by
Love
the
that.
10,000 questions that they will ask you and make you squirmy.
In a good way. Again, that's Rebecca Fegan, certified coach at the Fegan Method.
Accredited, by the way. Accredited. Yes. You can see I've got the stuff behind
The
me.
credits and the books back there. Oh yeah, it's behind your other shoulder.
Yeah.
You nailed it. If you're not watching on YouTube, go check us out there as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, share it with somebody that you think needs to hear it. And if you want to learn how to play as an adult and rediscover the power of humans in a world with AI, go to playfulhumans.com, take your playfulness quiz, and we will see you next time, everybody. Have a great week.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep on chasing the sun.